The winter we are stepping into is quieter than the feeds would have you believe. It's gilded with glossy TikTok edits and viral coats, yes, but beneath the scroll, something more honest is happening. People are dressing less for the algorithm and more for themselves. They want warmth, dignity, and a look that makes them feel held, not exposed. This video is about those viral winter moments, why they explode, what they actually mean, and how you keep the parts that matter while leaving the rest to pass with the season. Start with a moment. Imagine a woman on a frosty morning, steaming coffee in hand, wrapped in a heavy coat that seems to slow the city down. She isn't photographed, she is simply protected. That image is what winter trends should be about: shelter, clarity, confidence. And yet, the internet keeps convincing us that the trendiest winter look is the one that will get the most likes. We're going to untangle those two forces today. Why something goes viral in winter is never only about aesthetics. Virality is emotional shorthand. A coat becomes a sensation because it offers a mood people are hungry for. Comfort after a long year, a sense of elegant practicality, a fantasy of belonging to a calm, curated life. That's why cozy sells in November and glossy sells in January. Trends ride on collective feeling. If people feel exhausted, we crave soft armor. If we feel hopeful, we buy joyous color. The trend becomes a social vocabulary, a way to say without words how you want to feel right now. But there's a difference between viral and timeless. A viral winter trend performs. It is engineered for immediacy. It reads well on a 9:16 loop. It photographs. It layers in a way that looks chaotic but deliberate. Timeless style, by contrast, reads better in motion and memory than in a screenshot. It's not optimized for the app's interface. It's optimized for life. The woman who invests in that is thinking about three things: silhouette, fabric, and restraint. She favors pieces that will carry her for more than one season, pieces that tell a consistent story rather than scream for attention. This winter we'll see two conversations cross: comfort as rebellion and minimalism as refinement. Comfort is no longer lazy, it's a posture. A well-cut coat with a generous sleeve, a knit that isn't thin but also isn't heavy drama. These are choices that communicate you care for your body and your day. It is a refusal to be uncomfortable for the sake of aesthetics. Minimalism, meanwhile, is coming back with a new warmth. It's not the austere minimalism of marble and sterile studios. It's minimalism with texture. Cashmere, boiled wool, soft suedes, and quietly luminous silks under a heavy coat. The palette will be muted. Camel, cream, forest, a forgiving black, but it will be rich to the touch. Layering will transform from chaos to choreography. Instead of piling on disparate things, people will layer to create an internal logic. A neckline that repeats in different textures, a sleeve that echoes a cuff, a tone that appears in both a scarf and a shoe. That's the difference between dressing and costume making. The person who knows this dresses with intention. They think about how each layer sits and moves. Winter, for them, is a narrative in 3 acts: outer, middle, inner, each chosen for function and form. Another viral pattern: proportion play. Oversized coats with slim trousers, long scarves with cropped boots, luxe neutrals with one unexpected jewel tone. These proportions read beautifully on social media because they create contrast. But the smarter approach is to consider proportion as power. Choose one exaggerated element and keep the rest balanced. The aim is not to shock, it is to direct the eye with confidence. This is what the wealthy do naturally. They anchor a look around a single thoughtful decision, not a checklist of trends. Texture will beat logos this season. When people are tired of the conspicuous, they return to substance. A bag's leather should whisper, not shout. A coat's stitching should be precise, not ostentatious. This doesn't require you to own expensive labels, it requires discernment. Learn to read a fabric, to feel weight and weave. Quality is not always on the tag. Sometimes it's visible in how a garment hangs, how a collar resists a fold, how a seam maintains its line. That quiet evidence of care is what older, more seasoned shoppers have always returned to. Now, psychology, winter asks us for protection because the world feels colder in more ways than temperature. In 2026, after years of rapid, noisy change, people seek stability. That longing shows in clothing choices. Consumers move toward garments that feel like anchors: a structured coat, a pair of reliable boots, a classic bag they can grab in a rush, and know will carry them through meetings, school runs, travel. That shift away from disposable trend chasing is not moralizing. It's pragmatic. People are saving their most precious currency, attention and money, for pieces that serve them. There will be a digital backlash, of course. Social media encourages extremes because extremes capture attention. Expect micro-trends: the purse everyone carries for 2 weeks, the scarf tied one way until creators pivot to a new knot. Our job, when we encounter those trends, is to translate them. Ask what in this trend is useful. Is the color flattering? Does the proportion create an interesting silhouette? Can it be achieved without buying a new wardrobe? We should borrow the best ideas and discard the rest. Taste is about selection, not accumulation. Practicality will be presented elegantly. Waterproof outerwear will be prettier, gloves will be shaped to flatter, and boots will be both functional and refined. The new winter hero pieces will be those that answer real problems: rain, wind, commuting, with style. This season's hero is not pure fashion spectacle, is a solve. And when a solve is beautiful, it becomes aspirational. People want items that make their daily life better and also elevate their mood. Sustainability will influence perception more than it will change immediate buying behavior. People are smarter about where their money goes. They see through greenwashing. A brand that tells a story about provenance, repair, and responsible production will win trust. Those that merely change a label will not. We'll see more focus on repair services, on shopping intentionally rather than impulsively, and on valuing what we already own. How do you bring these ideas into your wardrobe without surrendering to every trending TikTok? Start from 3 principles: respect, restraint, and story. Respect the body and the climate. Choose fabrics and fits that honor both. Restraint means pick one surprising element, not 10. Story means your wardrobe should reflect the way you live and the life you want to build. This is less about rules and more about coherence. Your clothes should be allies, not props. A note on color: neutrals dominate because they make life effortless, but don't be afraid of a single small investment in a color that lifts you: a deep oxblood glove, a moss green scarf, or a navy that reads richer than black. Those are the small investments that keep a neutral wardrobe interesting. Accessories will be understated but considered. A substantial bag that fits daily realities, a scarf with a texture worth touching, and footwear that can be mended will outlast a season of viral novelty. Jewelry will be minimal and meaningful. The luxury of today is personal. It is the piece you choose because it makes a private statement, not because it advertises your purchases to strangers. Finally, how you carry these pieces matters. Walk with a quiet deliberateness. Let your coat close with the same resolve you bring to a conversation. The most viral outfits always look effortless, and effortlessness is the result of discipline. That discipline is less about how much you spend and more about how you curate. This winter's viral moments are symptoms of a larger desire to be seen as someone who chooses themselves. People are tired of performing. They want real warmth, considered style, and wardrobes that listen to their lives. Trends will ripple through feeds and stores, but what will last are the choices grounded in taste and tenderness. If there is one thing to take from this, it is this: be kind to yourself in how you dress. Choose less, choose well, and wear your choices like an extension of your values. That is the most compelling winter look of all, one that feels both private and powerful, quiet and unforgettable. We will continue to explore the moments that matter, the quiet revolutions of taste, and the small rules that give you the biggest returns. This season, dress for the woman you are becoming: calm, deliberate, and entirely worth the warmth she asks for.